I would say that the older you get, I think you generally feel more, well, I felt more happy in myself and secure in myself and who I am. Um, I I realized, like, I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm only 5'2", 5'3" at a push. And you know, you always will get criticism from somebody from somewhere for not like them not liking you, or they'll mention that you've got big boobs or like small boobs or big legs or fat legs or whatever, like short legs or long legs. Like, there's, you can never please everybody, but the only person that you've got to really please and worry about is yourself. And as long as you're happy with yourself, then that should really be all that matters. And actually, those that are really close to me, that know me for me, my mum and dad and my children, and I'm very lucky that I've got a close group of very supportive friends, both girls and boys, who we accept and love each other for who we are, and they know the truth, and that really is the most important thing. And I do think that when you're out in the media, whether you have a high profile, low profile, if you're out there in any way, shape or form, you are a role model. And I just want to be, you know, the best version of myself that I can be for me, and some people might like it and some people might not, but I can't be anyone else other than who I am. I do feel like I do post how I look generally. Like, I don't do anything. I know you shouldn't read comments, but you sometimes do. And I think it's really hard when you read comments like people say, oh, she's done too much of this to her face. And I think, these are my cheekbones. I've done nothing to my cheekbones. You know, like, that's my face. And unfortunately, it is the way that it is. That's a bit weird. Or people say, oh, she's got fake boobs. And I'm like, I haven't actually. But if that's what people want to believe, then like I said to you, the people that are close to me, they know. They know. So it's kind of a bit laughable that people, they make statements and it's like, you don't know the facts. Like, people just make statements and they don't know the truth. And that's why I'm saying that those that know me for me. But it's always funny when people just say things that they think are correct, and they're so far from correct. Well, I take like gold collagen shots every day. And I have recently, so I ran the London Marathon for Well Child in April, and I'd never run a marathon before. And I'm not, somebody that's ever loved long distance running, to be honest, but I do love fitness. I love keeping active. I've never smoked. I have an occasional drink, but I'm not really a big drinker. And I think I lead quite like a healthy lifestyle, like, in general. Although yesterday I felt like I had a big blowout because I went to Soho Farmhouse, had a meeting there, and ate like so much, and then I got home and had a dirty Indian takeaway curry. So, like, I do, and I had like a couple of glasses of wine with my parents. So, I definitely do have times like that. And then, there are some evenings I'll be like, oh, I fancy a cup of tea and a bit of chocolate. But since I did the London Marathon, I decided that I wanted to try and follow. I wanted to try and lose a stone, not much, but I think it's all about how you feel in yourself and how your clothes fit. And I was just sort of starting to feel a bit meh, I suppose, for me. And so that's what I wanted to do, to try and lose a little bit of weight. So I lost a stone, but I followed a program called Alavir, which is a high protein, low carb diet. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been eating every 3 hours, and it just kind of, it works for me. But in between that, like, I love my like fitness. So I've got like a little home gym, and I'll go on the running machine or cycling, or I go to David Lloyd, which is my gym in the UK. But I guess because I'm just constantly on the go, whether that's mentally or physically, I've got 2 children who play football 4 times a week. They're in gymnastics. It's constant go. So that's why I actually really liked the Alavir diet, the lifestyle program that I've been on, because you eat every 3 hours. And actually, when you have a busy lifestyle, it's so easy not to eat. And you think, oh, well, that's a way of losing weight. And that's the worst thing to do. The best thing to do is to eat every 3 hours. And I've now got myself in a pattern of that. If I don't eat every 3 hours, I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten. it's worse for you to do that, because you end up like starving yourself pretty much. And the more if you eat every 3 hours, it keeps your metabolism going. So yeah, it's just that really. And I do like to have occasional facials. That's probably my me time, but I haven't even had time for one of those in the last 3 months. I've taken on a renovation, which is a bit different to, buying a holiday, a home. It is a holiday home, but I bought a renovation. Not everyone comes on Place in the Sun and would want to take on a renovation project. In fact, I probably only film with a couple of people on a Place in the Sun that have wanted to take on a renovation project the way I have, because they generally want to buy a holiday home and enjoy it from the off. I just didn't want to do that because it's not what I do. I love to, as I said, buy a wreck and then renovate it. Yeah, I would say the buying process can be relatively easy. I did it within 6 weeks. Do you know, last week my children were with me when I was filming in near Barcelona, and I have somebody that travels with me quite a bit. Her name's Shelley, and she helps me out with the kids, and we work together. And so she was there, and we were sort of joking. Well, I was off filming and she was with the kids, and I came back and she said to me, "You will not believe what Rocco has said this afternoon." And I was like, what? And she said, well, he talked about like what he's going to do in the future, and like, as a business, like what he could do. And she said his idea was genius. He was like going to set up a water sports center on the beach, and then, but he wouldn't have money initially, so he'd have to sleep on the beach until he made money from his job. And then once he'd made money from his job, he would buy an apartment that was run down, and then he'd do the work to it, but he would try and do as much of it as himself as he could to try and save some money. And then he'd sell it. And she was like, listen, he is your son. Like, he has been listening to you. Like, I'll renovate that and I'll do that. And so, yeah, I guess the kids, they do pick up. But they did want to come to Mallorca to see the property. But I kind of said to them, do you know what? I'd rather wait until I've got it a bit more into a livable, not a livable state, because there are rooms that are habitable, but I'd rather you come when you can come and enjoy a holiday. The last thing I want is for them to come away and think, oh, they're coming on holiday and they're going to be in a building site. Because the last house that I did, I lived in rented a place whilst I was having to do the work because it was a massive project. And as much as Rocco was like, oh, can I smash down a wall and can I climb up a ladder or whatever, I'd just rather them see the photos of what it was like and then take them there when the work's in progress. It doesn't have to be a scary thing, and actually it's really exciting.